Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the new Beck record, Hyperspace. This is the 14th studio album from the American singer-songwriter, musician, record producer Beck. An artist who was once innovative, unique, distinct, and revolutionary when it came to lo-fi. For Beck, it's always about this continual evolution. If we think back to his Grammy award-winning album, Morning Phase, you definitely see how he explored folk music, but he's also stepped into the pop category with his 2017 album, Colors. Beck is someone who hasn't limited himself to one category. He creatively fuses a wide variety of genres, including folk, hip-hop, country, electronic. To once again push the boundaries, Beck has found himself teaming up with Pharrell Williams for the production on this album, where Pharrell has produced 10 of the 11 songs that we have here. And with that, I definitely came into this release thinking it would be another creative release from Beck, except the collaboration with Pharrell on the lead single, yeah, that made me apprehensive. Saw Lightning is a mess. It still is a mess in my opinion. I can't stand the Pharrell production. I don't like the sub bass and the compressed snares. They just don't gel with Beck's harmonicas and acoustic guitars. It's a fusion of two artists that should have never happened, and it's something I never asked for. It was something I didn't want to hear, especially with Pharrell's monotone vocal performance. And yes, you can have something eccentric from Beck if he's gonna sing he, ho, ho, ha, ha, ha all over this track. I still find that pretty dumb, and the structure is also pretty cut and paste. Now, despite that monstrosity of a lead single, I think Beck still managed to put out a few good singles before the album dropped. Everlasting Nothing is one of those. I love it for its aged and rustic feel to the vocals and the verses. The falsettos later on the track actually sound a whole lot stronger and more natural and predictable and well performed compared to another single, Dark Places. And while I mentioned the cut and paste structure on Saw Lightning, I did originally criticize Everlasting Nothing for its meandering structure, so I feel like I can't be a hypocrite. I have to pick one or the other, which one I like. And it's definitely Everlasting Nothing that's the far superior track, and it's something that can meander and just be directionless in a good way, I guess. Either way, Everlasting Nothing is a good closer for this album. It really shows off that potential that this record could have had. Lots of spacey production, showing off Beck's vocal prowess and being cutting edge with the songwriting to a degree. Another single that is worth listening to on this album is Hyper Life. It brings us into this world of hyperspace. The album, or what I should be saying is that it brings us out of this world as we're being transported up and outwards. With Hyperlife, along with the song Uneventful Days, I feel like these are two tracks that display the more enjoyable side of Pharrell's production in the way that the quirky style doesn't chokehold these tracks. I feel like they're quite lush and ruminating. The tune doesn't have to be the focal point, but I think it's more about creating that vibe and just having the song travel somewhere. Moving beyond the singles on Hyperspace, I was originally very interested to hear the Sky Ferreira feature on this album on the song Die Waiting, which is surprisingly one of the better songs on this record despite Sky missing in action. She's heard so faintly in the background, which is a shame after hearing her contribute nicely to the Charli XCX record earlier in 2019. Either way, I guess the melody is still pretty decent despite the bass line being unoriginal. I've heard that same bass line I don't know how many times now. Then there's the track Chemical, which goes back to my original issue with Saw Lightning. Another song with 808s and trap hi-hats. It just distracts and drowns out the acoustic guitar, in my opinion. I can't really pick it up. The falsettos from Beck are meh. Beck's staccato rap flow is hideous in the middle portion of this song. I don't understand where that is coming from. Another head scratcher comes on this record with See Through. It's a song that has an electronically produced beat. It's almost as if Gesaffelstein is rubbing off on Pharrell, because they did team up earlier in the year. It's a middle of the road track either way. To speak positively again, which there are a few highlights on this record, I just feel like it's such a roller coaster ride to find them. I do appreciate Hyperspace, which is featuring Terrell Hines. It is the title track on here. It's got this outer space atmosphere, a snare drum, and hip-hop verses. If you listen closely enough, you'll realize that it's just a continuation of the intro cut. But with Terrell Hines, though, this is an artist that sounds quite futuristic. He's like the future version of Andre 3000, with a bit of a Black Eyed Peas influence to his delivery. I tried finding some more music put out by him, but so far he only has one EP. I just hope that his career goes pretty far, because Beck has discovered an underground rapper with some potential. Playing off the title track, we have Stratosphere, which is continuing the sound play with the addition of a gritty and abrasive guitar. Not as compelling as the title track, but what is interesting about this is we have Chris Martin from Coldplay making an appearance here. Even though he's uncredited, he is still providing some background vocals. Solid enough tune. I do like Stratosphere, good song. And another good song on this record would be Star, even though it has some warbling synthesizers that can be a little messy. But other than that, Hyperspace by Beck it has so much more potential. Yet again, we have another Pharrell Williams produced album that just isn't for me. It reminds me of Ariana Grande's Sweetener from 2018. Yes, there are some bright spots to it, but I just feel like the style of the artists between Beck and Pharrell, they don't complement each other that well. Yes, the production, it's futuristic and light and easy on the ears with most of the spacey tracks, but I have a hard time recommending this when we have Charli XCX and her album from 2019. Far more interesting with its sound play, better vocal performances. Yeah, I guess the saving grace to this Beck release is that it is an improvement over its predecessor of Colors, but it's far too inconsistent. There are highlights, but then there are just too many lowlights to offset that. I am feeling a 5 out of 10. There's the review of Hyperspace by Beck. Make sure you sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of this music. Are you still listening to Beck? Are you listening to his new stuff, old stuff? Feel free to share. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a rockin' day.